Today we're going to be taking a look at an AZORIUS Reanimator deck. Now I know that sounds kind of strange because when you think of Reanimator, you definitely aren't thinking about AZORIUS. But of course AZORIUS Reanimator has been around for a while now and doing some good stuff because of a card, Invoke Justice. Now Invoke Justice is a sorcery speed spell that allows us to reanimate something, any permanent really, not just creatures, but permanent from the graveyard to the battlefield, and then you can distribute 4 1/1 counters onto a creature that you control. It's a very powerful way to reanimate because you get that added benefit of the counters. We have some great things we're going to be reanimating here today. We've got the obvious Sanctuary Warden, but I've been really liking the Swirling Sky as well. Both of these creatures are very powerful in their own right and can end a game quickly, especially when we're adding those 4 1/1 counters onto them. And because we're in AZORIUS, we have some really cool ways that we can get the cards that we want into the graveyard. We've got things like the Thirst for Discovery and the Restoration of Aganjo. Now the Aganjo is something I want to talk about here a little bit. So the Aganjo's level 2 allows us to discard a card from our hand and then bring something with converted mana cost 2 or less from the graveyard back to the battlefield, of course being a permanent. We don't have any permanents in this deck that are converted mana cost 2 or less, so we get around this, and we're trying to get a little tricky here with the Broker's Hideout. Now the Broker's Hideout is a land that we're going to bring in on turn 1 or 2, sacrificing it, and then that way on level 2 of the Aganjo we can drop either our Warden or Swirling Sky and then bring back the Broker's Hideout again to be replayed, helping us ramp into the later game. It's a nice little trick. The deck is super fun and creative. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. But as always, there'll be a full deck breakdown at the end of today's video if you want a more in-depth analysis. Stick around for that. In the meantime, down below in the links, there's a full deck list. And if you guys enjoy content just like this, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps an absolute ton, and I'd greatly appreciate it. With that being said though, guys, enjoy today's games. We'll see you back here at the end. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing some AZORIUS Reanimator, which I'm super excited about. Invoke Justice, just a tried and true mechanic honestly for a while now, and wanted to try it myself, and AZORIUS seems to be the place for it. I've played a couple of games with this deck already. I've had some pretty good success, to be honest, but yeah, I'm really excited about this. I like the opening hand here. It's just a little sketchy without that third land drop and without a creature to throw into the graveyard. Is it possible we can get by with this though? It kind of is. The draws have to be pretty spot on, but I'm hoping that it's not going to be too much of an issue. The opponent plays a blue land, which immediately makes my body and soul cringe. So let's hope that it's not what I think it is. Okay, good. Ooh. Relief washes over my body. Okay, the shuffler is not doing very well though, giving us multiples of each sort of card here. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, we'll allow that damage to get through for the time being. Not a big deal. Let's make sure our land drops are continuing to get hit, and we can just use the Wandering Emperor to exile that. There's a chance here that the fight rigging comes down though this turn, and if it does, they're off to a great start. All right, that's fine. Decline. Boom. All good. Let's see. And we do need to find our creatures though that we want to reanimate. It's kind of important. And let's pass the turn. We're gonna look to -2 on the Wandering Emperor on the Shakedown Heavy. Takes care of that nonsense. There we go. We'll be seeing you. All right, we'll take the 3 from the Kodama. No big deal. It does have reach. That's the only thing we got to worry about right now. But if it does get modified, it will have the trample. So something to consider.
This is what you get for
decline. Excuse me, guys. I'm just not feeling so great these days. All right, Beast Caller's fine. It is a problem though because it will get that 1/1 counter soon. Oh, and they scoop it up. They didn't want to see any more. We didn't get to Invoke Justice anything, but you know what? That's a good start. We did kind of control that game from beginning to end. It felt like they were missing on the land drops too. You could tell if we had missed our third land drop, that would have been a much different game. But it turned out pretty good for us. So GG. Man, I'm super excited for this one though because I play tested this a couple of times before we started recording, and there was a couple of games, man, where we were just reanimating like crazy. And the swirling sky, dude, that thing is nuts. Being able to bring that in as a 10/10, and then when it dies, we can then, you know, basically pull a couple of invoke despairs, or I'm sorry, invoke justices out of the graveyard to recast again. It's a really nasty combo. All right, I get to go first. Broker's Hideout plus Restoration is phenomenal, but all we need is a creature in hand, and then we can look for the combo. But I'm keeping this because of the fact we have the Thirst for Discovery. But in case I didn't explain it very well in the intro, because the time's limited there in the intro, the Broker's Hideout's purpose in this deck is basically to get it down early, like so. Getting one of our, you know, basic lands, mostly going to be the planes that we're looking for. And then from there, the Restoration acts as a way of getting things into the graveyard for us, like let's say the Swirling Sky, and then the following turn, you know, bring back the Broker's Hideout. So that's really, really nice. A nice way to get things to the graveyard and ramp at the same time and not lose that value. Let's go for another white source. We only really need one blue, so anytime we have the Broker's Hideout, the option is going to be the plains more than likely. All right. Actually go here because we might want to pitch that blue source. Pass the turn. No need to ramp right now. We don't have the Justice in hand. Orzhov, and we're seeing a wedding announcement come down. Okay, we do get the Swirling Sky in hand, but I don't need to ditch it right now because we don't have the Invoke Justice just yet. Now we get the Invoke Justice. That's fine though. We have a way to pitch it here with the Restoration, so it's all good. Let's go Restoration, and then Swirling Sky will come down next turn. We're gonna play this out though because it is a tap source. I need to get that out of the way. All right, we're ready to go, guys. We are ready to go. It's gonna be turn 5 this next turn, and we'll have the Invoke Justice going off with the Swirling Sky on the battlefield as a 10/10, and then it has Ward 3, so very, very difficult to remove off the battlefield. Should be able to at least get 1 or 2 decent shots in there, hopefully putting the opponent on the ropes. They don't play anything here. Interesting. All right, see, this is what I'm talking about. We drop the Swirling Sky, we get back a Broker's Hideout in most cases. In this case, maybe the island. No, Broker's Hideout. It gains its life and it thins our deck out. It's almost always going to be the case. All right, and we bring back the Swirling Sky like it was nothing, and we got ourselves a 10/10 bird. Let's go. Are they going to attack into us? Probably not. Their best bet is that they have something like a depopulate, but even if they do, I can go ahead and mill myself quite a bit and then pull back the Invoke Justice from the yard. I mean, the combination is just gross, guys. It really is. Okay, that's pretty good. That works too.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my
That works too. Now, do we do the milling or do we send everything back to their hand? I think we still do the milling because I have depopulate, so it's pretty easy to do what we got to do. All right. And how about another Invoke Justice? This time, do we go for the Sanctuary Warden? Potentially, because we want to make sure we draw those cards, right? Yeah, let's go with the Sanctuary Warden this time. The Swirling Sky seems fun, but I think this is the move. We'll put a bunch of counters on this. And a depopulate again is not terrible, but I think we're winning the race on going wide here now with the Sanctuary Warden being on the field. I love the options that our deck presents, man, with the Warden versus the Swirling Sky. We've got a bunch of card draw, or we've got some disruption. There's things we can do, man. There's just a lot of options at all times, which is a lot of fun. The opponent though being on Orzhov does scare me because of things like sweepers, but at the same time we have a shield counter on Sanctuary Warden, but there are also things we have to worry about like a Wandering Emperor, which could exile some of our things. So there's things that we do have to keep an eye out for. All right, that's coming in. Did they kick it? They did once, so they're gonna blow up the 1/1. I personally would have probably taken the shield counter off of the Warden, that depending on, of course, if they have a sweeper. Dropping a land. Ooh, they had an exiling effect. Very strange that they didn't want to take the Warden off the field with that. Another Invoke Justice is phenomenal. Let's just do it like so. Create the 1/1. Let's take the 1/1 counter off, or the shield counter. I think the shield counter, so we can give them no, let's take the 1/1 counter. What am I saying? Let's take the 1/1 counter. Okay, they're gonna block there and there. Okay. And I don't want to lose my shield counter, so we're gonna go ahead and do one of these. All right, that's gone. They don't gain any life, which is great. All right, their -2 is no good here. And we do have the Thirst for Discovery. So I think that's a very productive turn for us. The board grows even further with these spirits that we're getting off of the Architect. And yeah, we just keep hitting them, man. Just keep hitting them. They're going to be forced to play something like a Brutal Cathar here. They have to, because Sanctuary Warden is just going to keep going off with the card advantage. I have a 4 loyalty Wandering Emperor on the field too. So they're in a lot of trouble. I really don't see how they get out of this. They have no idea too that we're sitting on 2 Invoke Justices, which is pretty bonkers. All right, that's why we wanted to keep that shield counter in case something like that were to happen. Now they -2 maybe. They do. Unfortunate for them that they lose their you know, their Planeswalker for that deal. Pretty sure these are no good anymore, right? Actually, let's keep one. Let's just drop one of these. Okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. All right. Invoke Justice. Let's go again. Round 2. Round 2. Fight. All right. 9/9. And then how about a little 1/1? How about a little 1/1 for some extra zing? And pass the turn. Sunset Revelry not going to be very good here. We'll see though. It might be coming handy later. We'll see. And Invoke Despair. That's a pretty annoying card. It does kill my Wandering Emperor, which is a bit frustrating, but I have a backup, so not the end of the world. I guess I'll play this as a land. They say good game. Yeah, okay, they scoop it up. They must not have any more answers in hand here. Obviously, a Path to Peril doesn't get the job done either with that shield counter, but anyways, GG. What a game right there, guys. Man, that was a good game right there. That just felt like we were in control the whole time. The whole time. Sorry, guys, if you guys don't know, I'm getting over being ill. It's been a tough couple days, but I do feel a lot better today physically. My sinuses are going absolutely berserk on me. What do I do here, guys? Do I keep this? Probably not, right? Seems like a pretty bad keep. This is, I guess it's better. I don't know. Not really. There we go. Man, what do I do? I think we just hope that we pull that Invoke Justice and this hand turns into a really solid hand. Got even better now with the Broker's Hideout. Come on, Invoke Justice, please. That would be so good. This would turn around so quickly in our favor if we find the Invoke Justice here. Ah, it's a Delver. Okay, so this deck's gonna be super annoying. Got it. Check. Heard it. Fun. That pretty much negates the Invoke Justice like it's nothing. All right, and they're gonna get treasures now too. All right, I like it. I like what they're doing here. I just don't like what they're doing here, you know? Does that make sense? All right, let's go with the Thirst for Discovery, probably. I'm afraid of counter spells, to be honest. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get 1-0 and trample to the end of turn. That's pretty good. Man, if I would have just got a Fateful Absence on the opening hand here, that thing would have been toast, and their game plan probably would have gotten hosed. I was gonna say it's never too late now, but now it is. Fateful Absence off the top there would have been absolute nuts. All right, well, we're probably not going to be able to recover from this particular game, unfortunately. The Delver's just very, very good, man, especially if it gets that transform on the first try. Like, it is really hard to beat. We have 3, 4, about to be 5, 6 mana on the field, but one of them comes in tapped, unfortunately. So we're in trouble here, guys. There's no Warden coming down next turn, which would have been really the answer here, but it would have gotten Rona'd anyways. Double the treasures, double the fun. Ooh, Invoke Justice. Well, I guess we are getting a Sanctuary Warden down this turn. I love it. But is there a chance they have a make disappear? Of course there is. So there's a good chance we get countered here, and if that happens, it's definitely going to be the end of the game because our hand is not looking very spicy right now. All right, let's get the island in here. Here we go. Wish me luck. I could use it. All right, it does land, but it's going to get Rona'd Vortexed anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but at least I get a card draw off of it, right? Which is kind of the main thing I'm looking to do. And I get a body. I guess the body doesn't help very much when these things all fly, though, does it? All right, they were patient enough to send it to the bottom of my library instead of just back to my hand. Pretty smart. Pretty smart. I do get the Sunset Revelry off next turn for some life gain, which might buy me a little bit of time, but then they just throw down a monster of a card and end it. Very nice. GG's. I like their deck a lot, though. Grixis, like, tempo. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm a fan. I can't lie. I kind of want to try that deck. Just something like it, you know? Try to build one of my own. That'd be pretty cool. Opening hand, guys. Opening hand. I get to go first. There's no reanimation going on in here. I mean, it's keepable, though. I have the early interaction with the Revelry. Hopefully, if my opponent's, more aggressive, it might come out to be pretty solid. And right into the Wandering Emperor seems pretty cool. This is one of the rare occasions I am going to grab the island, you know what I mean? I think... Okay, so they're showing blue. I definitely want to play this out to get another card here. Hermit. Hermit. Alright, I don't want this to get countered, so let's just play it now. Yikes. Okay. No lands, huh? Well, at least we get a card that can kill the Hermit. Okay, never mind. And these both can sacrifice for just one singular mana, huh? Well. Let's see if they want to counter this. I have a feeling they will, but you never know. Yep, there we go. I guess let's just get these Hermits out of the way, right? While we can. Does that mean the rest of their deck is completely consistent with counter spells? Probably. Let's just hope for the best. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best, you know? That old saying. And if anything's going to get countered, might as well be this, right? Yep. And I did it that way on purpose because I needed them to have a reason to counter that, right? If they just let this die, they get the treasure and then it still ends up here and they're, you know, or they get the clue token. That way we got around to giving them the clue token. I hope that makes sense. We target this, that forces this to then react. Let's go ahead and pass the turn though. All right, so the obvious counter spells are out of the way, but does that mean we're out of the woods on counter spells? Probably not. Their creatures cannot be countered anymore either, which is totally fine. It's not the end of the world. I don't really care. Let's see if this goes off. It's got a lot of value behind it, so that it might be able to pull, you know. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get the Thirst for Discovery off on their, you know, their turn. And if I do, if I don't, I mean, and it gets countered, it opens the door for a potential Justice. We'll see. Okay. Another Hermit. Are you kidding? Okay. Well, let's see what they do with this. If they have a counter in hand, they're going to need to spend the mana to play it. So I actually kind of don't mind this too much. Okay. I can't believe what we're drawing here. And where... I just need a land, guys. Like, what are we doing here? I mean... I don't know, guys. I don't know what the answer is. I don't want to be getting rid of, you know, 2 cards at a time, but it is what it is. The deck is not providing those lands that are very crucial to us progressing forward. All right, they sack that to stop the restoration again. And we'll go attack in here for the 2. All right, we are hopefully going to hit this Despair. I keep calling it Despair because the Invoke Despair is like the only Invoke that really ever gets played. I got to stop doing that. It's Invoke Justice. The Djinn. All right, this actually might open the door for us here, though, because they're going to need to spend mana to counter this. Make Disappear. 1 mana. Make Disappear is a very possible play, but we do have 2 mana. Negate is also another play. There are so many things they could do here, guys. Would I rather maybe throw this out there to get countered? What a bummer. I gotta try. I gotta try. Come on, don't be lame. Don't be lame. Let this resolve. Please, please let it resolve. Hopefully it's just to make Disappear in hand. But even then, they could sack their Geist, which would be such a bummer. Oh, let's go. Let's go, man. The shield counters. The shield counter is not important here, guys, because of the fact that if they do have something, it would be a bounce effect, I would imagine. It could be Fateful Absence, but I doubt it. Okay. All right, we send this through all day long. Just in case there is that 1 Fateful Absence, we are gonna pull a counter here. They allow it. Okay. And I drew the perfect removal spell too for the Haughty Djinn, so that's kind of nice. We're just gonna hold on to everything here. There's really no reason to pull the trigger on anything. I could just do the Thirst for Discovery this next turn. I'm well ahead now. The opponent not having the counter spell that's, you know, that they needed there was pretty clutch. All right, pretty strange that they're attacking with that when it's their only blocker to our potential 10-10 coming through. Let's see if they've got a slip out the back mechanic or something like that. Oh, I guess this is flying. What am I saying? That has flying. That's bad. That's tough. There goes Wandering Imp, or I'm sorry, the Sanctuary Warden. That is annoying. I didn't expect that. That was definitely out of left field for sure. We killed the Haughty Jin though, which is great. And I have, you know, multiple answers in hand too to keep this pressure on. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Oh man, another no land pull there. I guess this and this. One, two, three, four, five. This will at least give me. This will give me an idea if they've got a counter in hand, right? I mean, it could just be anything instant speed holding priority, though, not necessarily a counter spell. Oh, brother. What do I do, guys? Yeah, there's something holding. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. I'm throwing out the Warden here because I can bring it back later with the Justice. There's a Syncopate, okay. And I'll send 1, 2 here. Just keep the pressure on, I guess. I know they're going to be able to block one, and they're going to block one that's blocking the Wandering Emperor, which is why I threw more at their face. I guess it wouldn't even make sense. Never mind. They should have blocked one that was going to the face. I don't know why they did that. All right, it's a Haughty Jin. And man, there's no way around it. I only get one spell this turn. One spell, and that is it. This is my last Sanctuary Warden, and it gets countered. No attacks. We eat 4 damage, no big deal. Down to 11. 2 cards left in our opponent's hand here, which is making me feel a little better about our odds of getting things resolved, but we'll see. All right, let's see if this sticks first.
Right. Let's clean up this town. Be brave.
All right, we give this flying. There was a priority stick there, though. I don't think we try the Invoke Justice just yet. Because I think it could be like a make disappear effect, where they didn't necessarily want to play it on... okay, or it was the Wandering Emperor this whole time. Interesting.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Sorry guys, I'm low-key dying right now. I'm not doing well. I'm trying though, I'm trying. All right, Wandering Emperor is going to plus the Jin a couple of times. We're gonna take another pretty big shot here because I can't afford to block. Oh no. Oh no, that's not what I expected. Well, they clearly fear it, right? Which is kind of a good sign, meaning they might not have... I don't know. I'm gonna have to block this, right? I have to. I think it's too good of a creature not to protect. I'm sorry, too good of a planeswalker not to protect. It's a land, it's a creature. I love it. 1 card in hand. 1 card in hand for the opponent. This could be good. Oh, we have a little test the waters card too. What a perfect draw right there, because we could test the waters on the counter spell. There's nothing. Love it. Love it. Imagine they hit a counter spell off that. All right, we are gonna go here for sure. All right, we get a land.
Show him what you got.
Let's give first strike to avoid losing the shield count. Actually, the shield counters are showing us they're not very important. Let's go here. No attacks. Now we've got to figure something out though, because the opponent does have the Wandering Emperor, which can -2 and kill the Sanctuary Warden. So if we attack in and they make a decent block on us,
Remember your
you know, they can then exile our creature. So we want to make sure that we're giving vigilance, or we can just ult the Elspeth if we're feeling super greedy, or not, for not feeling super greedy, I should say. Geez. Yeah, I think it's the vigilance counter. And we attack like so. All right, we get another land. Sorry guys, I'm thinking to myself right now, so if I'm a little quiet, I'm trying to figure out how to make sure we get around all of this. 2, 4, 6. So they could just, you know, block with everything here, but I do have shield counters, which is kind of silly for them to do. They realized it. They realized it a little too late. Good game, my friend. Yeah, the shield counter really threw them off there. They thought they had it, but they forgot they can't kill something with the shield counter like that. So, oh man, GG's. We were gonna win that game regardless. I think at that point, giving the vigilance counter to this shuts down the ability for that to exile anything. So I think that was a pretty good game. And then from there, we were gonna ult the Elspeth next turn. So pretty tough. GG's. All right, looks like we got time for one more game here. I think I'm gonna be able to record one more video today, and there's a chance that the rank might reset in the middle of our video, which has happened before, because the ranks are supposed to reset in the next like hour and a half or something like that. Let's see, opening hand, I get to go first. This is not bad. Broker's Hideout into Restoration. This should be a really good game if I can find back-to-back creature and invoke Justice. I am so tired of seeing blue lands hit the field. Okay, it's not what we thought. Well, it could still be actually. Otherworldly Gaze does fit into a mono blue plan, and it is mono blue. Cool. All right, gonna have to play around a boatload of counters again. Here we go. No thanks. The more creatures I can pick off each turn like that is gonna be very important. Man, if they didn't find a third land drop, gosh darn it, I don't know what to do here. I think it's Thirst for Discovery. Sorry, I'm trying to think out loud here again and just figure out what I want to do. Thirst for Discovery seems like it's going to be the move, but there's no okay, I was gonna say there's no guarantee it's gonna hit. All right, the draws have not been great for us here. We do have another Fateful Absence, which is fantastic, but the draws have just not been there. Let's grab it, Plains. Drop the tower, say go. All right, so we do have a Broker's Hideout in the yard, but I mean, doesn't really matter. We're gonna drop a land anyways. There's no creatures in hand here. If we had, let's say, you know, a Sanctuary Warden and a Justice, we drop the Warden in a heartbeat and get it out the very next turn. But it's mono blue, so that would even be a pretty risky play when you've got this much, you know, cards in hand. There's definitely going to be counter spells. So hopefully the Restoration of Inganja just can run through them a few times and then force them to, you know, react to it. We'll see. All right, well, that's tough because they clearly have something in hand to protect it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have played it. Yeah. So depopulate, not going to be any good here, but I can't double it with this, unfortunately. If I could have, we'd be in a pretty good spot, but I guess what our best bet here to do is to try to get them to double up on, you know, their counter spells by playing this on their turn, forcing them to tap some mana to use up a counter spell, and then we'll depopulate on our turn. It's our best chance of kind of getting a 2 cards off in 1 turn type of effect. So, man, this is gonna be tough though. This is gonna be tough. Here comes the counter, or slip out the back, something of that nature, I'm sure. Geist Wave. Oh, okay. Didn't expect that. There's no clue token going to them, but they did draw a card off the Geist Wave anyway, so that's an interesting choice there. I like the Seat of the Empire off the top, though. That was really clutch because it's a great way to deal with the Jhin. All right, we passed the turn. I don't know, man. This is I hate playing mono blue. I feel like I hate playing mono blue because it just makes my brain go freaking crazy, man. I never know what the moves are, right? I never know what to trust or what the calls are going to be, because it's like, do they have counters? Do they not have counters? Like, are they running Geist Wave of all things? Like, what the heck are we doing here? Like, I don't know what's going on half the time. Mono blue is just so frustrating. All right, here we go. Here we go. Does it hit? Ooh, consider. That's a good sign. That's 1 less card I have to worry about being a counterspell. They drop this into the yard. And another consider. Okay. They drop a land. They're at the mercy of their top deck here. Fading Hope. Able to save their Jhin, but hey, we take out one of their creatures, which is a big win for us here, and it allows us to get the restoration down too. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. We've thinned out the deck quite a bit here. You would think that we would have found at least an Evoke Justice or a creature at this point, but we've found neither. So, all right, we've got another depopulate for them. Okay, it's 1 card in hand. 1 card. Our odds are pretty high of resolving something here. There's no reason for us to discard anything. Let's just do that. Hit the old depopulate. Does it stick? That's a really good sign. They're not drawing cards off of that. They're just basically tailoring the top of their deck. So it looks like it's gonna stick, baby. Let's go. There goes their 2 creatures. They do get the connive here though, so they've gotten the ability here to basically you know, cater the top of their deck to whatever they want it to be in most spots. Well, they've thrown everything away. I'm so confused. They're really confusing me, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, as far as things that I could grab with the minus, it's not, this is not designed for that, so I'm not gonna actually minus. I'm just gonna plus on nothing here. we've got nothing in the deck here to pull out except for a restoration, which is you know, a very hard gamble to try to hit off the top. So we plus Elspeth instead, trying to get it closer to its ultimate. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with these gazes, man. They were just chucking everything to the yard, which is fine. I mean, do you, but seems like we didn't get much value there. All right, we're gonna plus this.
Show 'em what you got.
Might as well give it lifelink. We're gonna have to block this, and from there it's, you know, at least we gain a little bit of life and get a creature out of the deal. So all right, we get the land. All right, let's just pass the turn here. Seat of the Empire can kill the Terra. The Terra's ward cost is 2, so we have plenty of mana to deal with that. They bounce back my Elspeth. That's annoying. That's annoying. What's this last card though? What do you got? Looks like we're gonna probably take home the win here though. I'm pretty happy about that. There's really no reason for us to block now though. By them throwing our Elspeth back into our hand, there's really no reason for us to make a block here when we can just gain the life back and attack next turn. All right. Decline. We've got a really good hand here. Elspeth is the play. There's nothing in their hand, so we're free to make that move. Let's go ahead and put another counter on it. This time we'll give it the first strike. That way it can attack through here, and they're gonna think that they're chilling here with the Jin going over the top, but they're not, because there's a lot of answers in my hand here. Yeah, they're kind of screwed, man. They're kind of screwed. We've got a really, really good hand here. We've got, you know, only 2 cards, but it's good enough to close this game out, I think, because the Haughty Jin can't, you know, they can't counter the Seat of the Empire. They're gonna need to slip out the back or some sort of like Fading Hope play, and even then it just, you know, shuts them down for one more turn, which allows us to set up even further. So they're in trouble. That's annoying. That's annoying. Boo. All right, whatever, we know what's in your hand now, so you're gonna eat this. You're gonna eat that and you're gonna like it. We're gonna take 5, whatever. Invoke Justice. Wait, we don't even have anything in the yard yet, do we? Wow, we have nothing in the yard yet. That's crazy. Okay. Let's just do this and end them. Let's just end them here. Yeah. Let's just put a wrench in their game here and just close it out. How many cards left in their deck? 23. I was gonna say, they've been throwing so many things in their graveyard. It's like they've got to be almost out of cards here. There's a couple make disappears. Little late to the game on those. All right, we gained 2 life off of that deal. Hopefully the next card off the top of our deck is going to be a creature we can throw in the graveyard. I guess we don't even need to throw it in the graveyard though. All right, let's just get this lifelink swing in, gain some life here. Turn our little spirits into some weapons. And it's a thirst for discovery. If they hit a land, I'm gonna be bummed. All right, there we go. Good game. Good game. GG's. Dude, this deck has been really, really solid for us, man. We're making some progress here on the ladder here with this Invoke Justice deck. We didn't even get to use it or even find a single creature to reanimate. Can you believe that? We just beat Mono Blue with zero Wardens and 0 Swirling Skies. Crazy. That will conclude today's gameplay portion of the video. We are going to break the deck down and talk about it a little bit further, but before I do so, I wanted to give a quick shout out and thank you to everyone who made it this far into the video. It helps an absolute ton when you stick around, because the YouTube algorithm loves the watch time stuff. So thank you guys for hanging in there with me, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad you enjoyed the content. But with that being said, let's take a look at today's build and talk about it a little bit more. So it was a fun one, man. Invoke Justice, something I always love playing a lot. Obviously, Vorinclex days, this thing was really, really busted. In, you know, the Selesnya builds. I'm trying it out today in Azorius because, you know, it just sounded like something fun to do, but also because Azorius has some great ways to draw and discard. There's not a lot of colors that offer that. There are a few. Obviously, red gives you that kind of stuff. There was really no great red creatures that I wanted to bring back. Obviously, Sanctuary Warden usually is enough to get the job done, and you're really going to be digging for that a lot, but there's a lot of times where, you know, you may want a different creature, or you can't find your Sanctuary Warden. You need a backup plan. So I went with blue because I like the Swirling Sky. I think this thing is really, really cool. One of the best dragon spirits on the, you know, out of the set of colors, and it's because of its ward mechanic, in my opinion. If you can get this down on turn 5 with the Invoke Justice, you know, with the ward 3, this thing's going to be very, very hard to deal with. And then when you do deal with it, 9 times out of 10, you know, you're going to be giving up a lot of value to us with its ability when it dies, because we can bring back, you know, some more justices from the graveyard, or we can just go ahead and bounce a lot of your things back to your hand. Either way, this is going to get a big a big advantage towards us when it dies, which is really, really nice. And it's elusive too, so going over the top for 10 damage is not anything to you know, it's very powerful. It's a great effect. And then of course I wanted to throw in a couple of planeswalkers in this deck, Wandering Emperor and Elspeth. Now these might seem a little bit out of place to some people, but the reason I'm playing these in this deck is because if we can't get a Swirling Sky or a Warden, we do have the ability with the Invoke Justice to bring back any permanent we want from the graveyard to the battlefield. So what's nice about this is that we can bring back the Wandering Emperor or the Elspeth, which is really great because it says return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that's really nice. And then obviously Depopulate, it's too good of a sweeper not to have in case you run into, you know, those mono red decks. Speaking of mono red, we've also got the Sunset Revelry just in case. This deck just takes a couple of turns to set up. Obviously we want to try to get to turn 5 as fast as we can, but you know, if we're going second, we're going to need ways to survive. So we've got Sunset Revelry for that life gain, obviously getting extra bodies, and then of course drawing cards never hurt anyone. Excuse me. And then we needed ways to get these to the graveyard, right? So I decided on Thirst for Discovery, one of my favorite ways to do that. And then also the Restoration of Enganjo was something I was looking at, but I was like, how can we really get the value out of this card though? Because we can, yeah, sure, put something in the graveyard, but how do we bring anything back? Azorius doesn't typically have any permanents that I'm going to want to bring back. Well, that's when I landed on Broker's Hideout. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. We've done something like that before where we needed to get something to the yard and get some value back. So Broker's Hideout was a great way to do that because we can sack it, it goes to the yard, and then later we can then replay it with the Enganjo, which is really, really nice. And then lastly, we splashed in a few Fateful Absences. There was a couple of removal spells that I wanted to play, but I think Fateful Absence just does a really good job of just answering almost anything. I mean, it's a very quick, easy way to answer, and you know, giving up a clue token doesn't feel good, but for 2 mana to destroy anything, not a bad trade-off. So anyways, very fun deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. This one was a good one. This is something, again, that's been tried and true for a while now. Just want to try it myself and make my own little version of it. I hope you guys enjoyed it though. But if you have any ways to make this better, you've seen some better versions, definitely let me know down below in the comments. But thank you guys for watching again so far into the video. It means the world to me. Before I get out of here though, as always, a huge shout out goes to the Marty Mob. If you guys don't know, the Marty Mob is the membership program here. So I like to give these guys a huge special shout out and thank you for everything they do, because they help support the channel with their monthly memberships, and it means the absolute world to me that they're willing to support me like that. So want to give them a shout out, you know, as my gratitude. So thank you guys for everything. I appreciate you. And with that being said though, that'll conclude today's video, and we'll see you guys back here again tomorrow for another one. Till next time, peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Fizzy, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the Mythic, yeah, that's magic. Yeah, MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. Where's the upload, man? Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.